Okay, I'm on page 156. Now that you know a little more about color and finding it in Photoshop, you will start to do some painting. You will work on a new blank document to begin with, but once you have the basics of the painting tools down, you'll put your knowledge to work on an actual image file. So go to File, New, type Painting in the name text field. From the preset drop-down menu, choose Default Photoshop Size. Leave all the other settings at their defaults and click OK. A new blank document is created. Keep it open for the next part of this lesson. So another way to select colors is to use the color panel. If the color panel is not visible, choose Window Color. Place your cursor over the color ramp at the bottom of the panel. Down here. Then click and drag across the displayed color spectrum. Notice that the RGB sliders adjust to indicate the color combinations creating the active color. If you have a specific color in mind, you can individually drag the sliders or key in numeric values. Note that the last color you activated appears in the Set Foreground Color Swatch, located in the Color panel. No, we closed it, and, as well as near the top of the Tools panel. Well, here is that, and here is that. Click once on the Set Foreground Color box to open the color picker, right here. Type the following values in the RGB text fields on the right side. RGB, right here, it's R. 74, and G is 150, and B is 190, and then click OK. Page 158. The brush tool paints using the foreground color. You can control the brush type, size, softness mode, and opacity with the brush tool options. Click the brush tool in the Tools panel. Press the arrow next to the brush size in the options bar to open the brush preset picker. Right here. If you are not in the default panel view, click and hold the panel menu, which looks like a gear icon, in the upper right corner of the brush preset picker, and choose Small Thumbnail View. Right here. Small thumbnail. Yep. Position your cursor over any of the brushes to see a tooltip appear. The tooltip provides a description of the brush, such as soft, airbrush, hard, or chalk. Some will also display the brush size in pixels. See? Okay, locate the brush with the description soft, round, pressure size pixels toward the top of the panel and click on it. So I need to find the brush tool. Right here's the brush tool. And then here are the different brush tips. And we want to find soft, round, pressure. Right there. Use the size slider to enter 45 for the size. Right here, we're going to go 45. Position your cursor on the left side of the image and then click and drag to paint a curved line similar to the example below. If you do not see your brush stroke, make sure that the mode in the options bar is set to normal. So I'm going to just click and drag, and there I can see my line. And now I'm on page 160. Using the color panel, click on a different color from the color ramp. And then paint another brush stroke that crosses over or intersects with the first brush stroke. So let's see, I'm going to just pick another, well, I'm going to use this. Okay. Note that when you paint, the brush tool cursor displays the diameter of the brush that is selected. To resize the brush, you can return to the brush preset picker in the options bar, but it's more intuitive to resize your brush dynamically using a keyboard shortcut. If you have the caps lock key selected, your brush tool cursor appears as a crosshair. Press the right bracket key to increase the brush size. So that's on the right side of your keyboard. You can see it increasing. Now press the left bracket to decrease it. And choose File to save the file and keep it open for the next lesson. Changing opacity. Changing the level of opacity affects how transparent your brush strokes look over other image information. In this section, you'll experiment with different percentages of opacity. If the swatch panel is not visible, choose Window Swatches. We have that right here. The Swatches panel appears with predetermined colors ready for you to use. Position your cursor over any swatch color and you'll see an eyedropper along with a tooltip indicating the name of the color. Click on any of the swatches. It becomes your current foreground color. There's changes the foreground color there and over here. Now, to change its opacity, go to the options bar at the top and click on the arrow next to 100. A slider appears. Drag the slider to the left to lower the opacity to about 50%, and then click on the arrow to collapse the slider. Okay, so here's opacity. I'm just going to type it in to 50. Understand that changing the opacity of a color does not affect any of the painting that you have already completed, but it will affect future painting. You can also change the opacity in Photoshop by hovering over the word opacity in the options bar. A double-headed arrow appears, allowing you to slide the opacity down or up without revealing the slider. Click and drag with the brush tool to paint over the canvas. Be sure to overlap existing colors to see how one color intersects with another. Take some time here to experiment with different colors, opacity settings, and brush sizes. See how you can see underneath that? So now I'm going to change my opacity to 25, and I'm going to give it a different color. Makes it more transparent. The less the opacity, the more transparent it becomes. Choose File, Save, and File, Close. Save time, learn the shortcuts. So there are many keyboard shortcuts to help you in painting in Photoshop, most of which are integrated into the exercises in this lesson. Here's a list that will help save you some time and work more efficiently. So maybe get a post-it note and put it on this page, page 161, to mark that to help you. So Using the brush presets. In this section, you find out how to take advantage of the preset brushes that come with Photoshop CS6. So we're going to go Browse and Bridge, and we're going to find 0602, which is right here. We're going to go File, Save As. And PS0602 _ work. And we're going to go to the brush tool. It's already selected. And then select the toggle the brush panel button in the options bar. The brush panel appears. I think it's, oh, right here. This one right here. Toggle the brush panel. There we go. There's the brush panel. Select the brush presets tab to bring it forward. Right here. And then select Small List from the panel menu. Or right here, brush presets. Small list from the panel menu. I am not seeing that. Okay. Click on the round curve low bristle percent preset. Round curve low bristle. Oh, right there. Round, oh, right here. There it is. Okay. Using the size slider, make the brush 205 pixels. So I'm just going to type it in here. 205. Okay. Note that you can preview the tip by activating the toggle the live tip brush preview button. Note that this brush preview does not work with all the brush tips. That's this right here. With the brush tool still selected, hold down the Alt key and sample a color of the woman's skin. So hold down the Alt key and the woman's skin, which is right here. Okay. Choose a darker shade if possible. Okay, so Alt. Oops, wrong key. Alt. Maybe like right here. Okay. In the options bar, click on the mode drop-down menu and select multiply. Right here. Using large, wide brushstrokes, paint over the woman. playing the guitar. Since you're using a blending mode with a light color, the image is still visible. If you want to erase and try again, simply do Control Z. So note that as you paint, a preview of your brush appears and even shows the movement of the bristles as you paint. You can store your brushes for future use by taking advantage of the brush preset feature. Click on the Create New Brush button in the lower right of the Brushes preset panel. Right there. The brush name dialog box appears. Type my large rounded brush and press OK. The brush now appears in the preset panel for future use. Right there. Using the airbrush feature. In this section, you discover how to change the brush characteristics to act more like an airbrush. Using the airbrush option allows you to paint your paint to spread, much like the effects you would have using a true non-digital airbrush. Select round, fan, stiff, thin bristles. Round, fan. Right here, stiff, thin bristles. I'm going to select that one. Make sure the size is still close to 205. Yep. Press D to return to the default colors. Okay. If the drop-down menu in the options bar is not set to normal, set it to normal now. Right here, mode, normal. Click and release with your cursor anywhere on the image to stamp a brush stroke onto the image, which I accidentally did before with that, but you can see it there. Do this a couple more times. And we can use the left bracket to make it smaller, or the right bracket to make it bigger. Okay. Now, select the Enable Airbrush Style Build Up effect in the options bar, right here. Notice that you can change the flow or pressure of the paint coming out of the airbrush using the flow control to the left. In this example, it's set to 50. Okay, so I'm going to go 50 because that's what they're using. And now you can click and drag and you can see the airbrush. Okay. Using the same brush preset, click and hold on your image to notice that the paint spreads as you hold it. Okay, so don't even drag, just click and just hold it there. See how it's spreading with just holding the button down? Experiment with different flows and sizes to see the effects that you have created, and you can do that now. When you have finished experimenting, return the flow control back to 100%. Creating a border using the bristle brushes. In this section, you use a bristle brush to create an artistic border around the edge of the image. Select the round, blunt, medium stiff bristle brush from the preset panel, round, blunt. Medium stiff right there. Choose any color that you want to use for the border you are about to create. In this example, we use the default black. I'm just going to use black also. Click in the upper left corner of the image. This is the top left corner for your border. Hold down the Shift key and click in the lower left corner. By shift clicking, you have instructed Photoshop that you want a stroke to connect from the initial click to the next. Okay, click in the upper.
Click, hold down the shift key. Oh, wait. Okay, so I'm going to click, hold down the shift key, and then click in the lower right corner. Oh, that didn't do it. So Control Z. Hold down this is the top. Click in the upper left corner. I must have to hold down. I'm going to click and hold down the shift key, and then click in the lower left corner. Yep. And then click. Okay. Okay, and then I still have the shift key held down. I'm going to click again, and now I'm going to come back up here and click. There. That's kind of slick. Control S to save, and you can close this file.